Are you thinking about becoming a landlord in Singapore? If you are, this episode is for you. From breaking down the taxes, interest rate, and the miscellaneous costs, we will deep dive and understand if it is really worth it to become a landlord in Singapore in 2025. Hey guys, welcome back to Only with Ron, and in today's video, we are going to break down the real cost of being a landlord in Singapore. From the interest expenses to the taxes and all the miscellaneous hidden costs, we are going to deep dive and give you the exact number before you actually decide whether you want to actually buy a property to rent out and be a landlord in Singapore. Before we start, if you are enjoying this type of content and it helps you to make clearer property choices, do give us a like and it will help the algorithm to push this video out to like-minded people like yourself, and it really helps the channel a lot. Thank you very much. So what inspired me to do this video is actually my personal experience, because recently I bought a property for rental investment. I'm holding this property and rented it out. So I'm experiencing this firsthand, and I'm going to break down the cost for you if you are deciding to become a landlord. So let's say you are eyeing on a $2 million property in the OCR region as a rental investment. Let's go through the main cost after you pay that 25% down payment. Assuming you are taking 75% loan, which is $1.5 million, the average interest rate will take it at about 2.5% per annum from the local banks like DBS and UOB. Assuming a 30-year tenure, your monthly installment will be $5,927 per month. Just in year one alone, the interest portion would amount to $37,112.06. So a pro tip for you is always calculate the cash on cash return based on the real interest payment, not just gross yield. Next will be a maintenance fee. So a 4-bedroom condo in the OCR region, like maybe the Treasure at Tampines, Florence residences, or even Riverfront residences, these properties will have a range of about $400 to $600 per month for their maintenance fee. So that is about $4,800 to $7,200 per annum just on maintenance fee itself. So we'll just take the middle, which is $6,000 per annum to maintain the property. So by the way, if you're new to being a landlord will be responsible to pay the maintenance fee. And next will be the miscellaneous costs. Things like agency fee. For a 2 years rental contract, it will cost you 1 month worth of rent. So assuming that you are renting a 4-bedroom out at $6,000, the agency fee will amount to $6,540. And next, we want to put in a buffer for vacancy period. So this vacancy period, we'll put in a 1-month vacancy period, which will cost you $6,000. And not forgetting the repairs and the upkeeping of the property, we put a budget of $1,000 a year. So this of course covers the minor repair clause, some replacement clauses, and really depends on what type of property that you're buying, the age of the property, and the state of maintenance. So older properties, of course, you may need to budget in more. So $1,000, I think it will cover you quite well if you are talking about properties that are not so old. Also, another cost you want to take into consideration is the property tax. So before we go into the details of the property tax, do help me to like and share this video to more of your friends. And also, if you think that this kind of content will help you in your property investment journey, subscribe to our channel because we do property content videos weekly. Turn on the notification bell because you will be notified when the next content is up. Thank you. Yes, I know you have been waiting for this, so let's deep dive into this property tax. So from IRA's website, you will see that for owner-occupied property, it starts from 0% all the way up to 32%. And for non-owner occupied, it starts from 12% all the way up to 36%. So how does this calculate in the real world basis? So let's take an example of this 4-bedroom in the OCR region. There may be an annual value about $50,000. So just to let you know that annual value is not the value of your property, but the value of the rental contracts around the area, and they will have a calculation method which I'm going to paste it in the video for you to see. However, you can always check the annual value through the IRA's website, and you will know for each year what is the annual value. So assuming a $50,000 annual value for a 4-bedroom property, the first $30,000 will be at 12%. So that will be $3,600 for your property tax. The next $15,000 will be at 20%, which is another $3,000 added to your property tax. And the last part of $5,000 will be at 28%. 5%, which is $1,400. All in all, you will be expecting to pay $8,000 of property tax for that single year. And yes, this is payable yearly whether your unit is vacant or rented out. So just to let you know, if you own two properties, for example, you own one own stay property and your wife is owning the other rental property, that rental property, even if it is vacant, you are not able to put her as a own stay in that property and you as a own stay in your current property. So once as a couple you have two properties, one of it will automatically be a non-owner occupied property. So be it rented out or not, you will be paying the non-owner occupied property tax. And lastly, let's talk about personal income tax. Yes, you have paid the property tax, but the rental income is still taxable. But the saving grace is there are deductibles. So I'm going to list out all the deductibles for you so that you will not pay extra taxes. So first off, what can you deduct? You can deduct the interest on your mortgage. So for that single year, remember the interest is $37,112.06. So you can take that out from your rental income. Property tax will be $8,000. Maintenance fee, $6,000. Agency fee, remember to get the receipt from your agency, $6,540. And repair, also keep the receipts, it will be $1,000. So that will be a grand total of $58,652.06. Your total gross rental income is $72,000, assuming all 12 months are being rented out. So your taxable income is $13,347.94. So let's take a scenario. If you're someone who is having a taxable income of $200,000 per annum, you are paying an income tax of $21,150. This additional rental income will cost you $2,536 for income tax, which brings you a net income from the rental of $10,811.94. Of course, all these numbers are based on a $2 million property that has an annual value of $50,000. So if you are looking at other properties, you can always find out the annual value from the IRAS website. So that will give you a better idea of how much property tax that you will be paying. Although bear in mind that next year the annual value may change. So is it still worth it for you to buy a property for rental income? Well, that is for each individual to decide. But for myself, the reason why I buy into a resale property and rent it out is because I'm buying into an area of growth and the rental is purely helping me to hold a property while I get the capital appreciation. So yes, I'm not in the school of only new launch makes money, but resale, buying the right property, layout and location would also bring you the right appreciation. Whether you're thinking about buying a resale for investment or a new launch, there is no right or wrong answer. Most importantly, everyone's investment objective is different. Hit me out on WhatsApp and we can have a chat and I'll be happy to share more details with you. And if you are looking to sell, buy or even rent properties, I do offer this kind of service as well. So you can always chat with me and find out more. I'll go to our website www.ownitrealestate.sg and see what our team does over there. So for people who buy into the new launches, which is building under construction, naturally when the building is not completed, there are a few things that you do not need to pay. For one, maintenance fee. You don't need to pay the maintenance fee because it is not completed. Number two is the property tax. Because the property is not there, you don't need to pay property tax. The interest payment will be on the progressive payment, which means when the developer is finished with the foundation, the loan will be 5% of the purchase price. So the bank will disperse that 5% to the developer and you are paying interest on that 5%. Likewise, when the concrete structure is up, the bank will disperse another 10%, which means your total loan dispersed will be 15% and you only pay interest on that 15%. So which means what? The first few years, you are really paying minimal interest up to the stage where you collect the keys. That is when you can decide whether you want to rent it out or sell it away if the profit is right. So why are people doing this, buying the new launches and sell it off at TOP? It's basically because Singapore does not charge investors their capital gain tax, which means the money that you earn from selling the property will not be taxed compared to the rental that you collected will be taxed in your income bracket. So that is something to think about why people are buying into new launches for investment instead of buying into a resale property to get rental. So is being a landlord in Singapore still worth it? Well, it depends on a few things. So number one is your holding period. What is your investment horizon? If you're going to hold this rental property for the long term, yes, I think that would be something that you can look out for, because the rental will become stronger as you pay down your installment. So like the extreme example of someone fully paid off their property and the rental that they are collecting is basically an income for them. Yes, I think that would be something that you will do in your retirement years. So next is your age. If you're progressing well in your career and you're young enough to take advantage of the long mortgage tenure, chances are you'll be better off taking advantage of the short-term appreciation from properties than holding on to a long-term while paying higher property tax and income taxes. So in that sense, spending 15 to 20 years to be a landlord may make lesser sense. But when does it make sense to buy a resale property and rent it out as an investment? So for one, if your capital is limited, buying the bigger resale property with the right attributes and growth story would be better than buying a small brand new property that doesn't really give you a good appreciation. And lastly, of course, your portfolio. If you already have a BUC investment, maybe having a resale property in your portfolio may balance things out for you. And that, of course, everyone's situation is unique, and we really need to deep dive into your portfolio, your investment objective and horizon to really determine whether it is the right property for you to invest in. So in summary, I'm not against anyone to buy resale property and rent it out, as long as you are informed and know what you are getting into, have the right expectations, and of course plan ahead so you will achieve your property goals earlier. And for BUC projects, the new launches, buying the wrong ones will actually set you back a few more years, and you really don't want that. Whether it is buying into new launches or the resale properties to get rental income, I think first of all, your objective must be very clear, and knowing the next 3 to 5 years what to expect and what are your exit options, that will give you a very clear plan to move forward in your property purchase journey. So if you need help to plan your property portfolio or which new development that gives you the best appreciation in that 3 to 4 years time frame, hit me up over here, and I'm very happy to share more with you with our in-depth data and tools, and you can make your decision from there. So thank you very much for watching. This is Ron from Own It with Ron. We upload property contents videos weekly, and if you like what we share so far, hit the like, share and subscribe to our channel. Turn on the notification bell so you will be alerted when the next video is up. I'm Ron signing off. See you in the next video. Bye.